Hey, thanks for coming to 1500ESPN.com. I'm Derek Wetmore, and I'm going to share with you my 5 thoughts from Monday's Twins game on Memorial Day. A 7-2 victory against the Boston Red Sox. The Twins now 26-18 and fully in the American League Central conversation. Bit surprising, but they're here. They've done it through about a quarter of the season and playing some pretty good baseball lately. Thought number 1 from Monday's game, the offense is really the story to me. They busted through for 6 runs in the second inning off Red Sox starter Joe Kelly. They scored 7 runs on the day, but really that second inning was kind of where they did all their damage. Trevor Plouffe had the big blast, 3-run home run, but the Twins sent 12 batters to the plate that inning, so credit all the way up and down the lineup. It's not just one guy who's driving this thing right now. The Twins have a lot of guys who are really contributing with the bats, and it's been impressive. That continued again on Monday, as I mentioned, chasing starter Joe Kelly. He lasted just an inning and 2/3 before the Twins knocked him out of the ball game, and Boston dug into its bullpen. Now that's obviously a good sign for Monday's game, but that's also a good sign for the Twins going forward. Now, I don't mean just because their offense is good. They have offense that's hovering around the top 5 in the majors at the time of this video. But what's really good is the Twins are playing the Red Sox 7 out of the next 10 days, well, including Monday. So we'll say 6 out of the next 9. And now Boston churned through relievers. I mean, they had to turn to 1, 2, 3, 4 different relievers on Monday, and that impacts them not only the rest of this series, but the next time the Twins see the Red Sox too. I mean, bullpen usage has sort of this cumulative effect, and it can kind of corrode over the course of a season if you have to dig into them really early, and they did on Monday. So we'll see how that impacts things going forward, but just something to watch. Thought number 2, speaking of getting to the bullpen early, Ricky Nolasco did not force the Twins to do that on Monday. For a guy who hasn't completed 6 innings very often in his Twins tenure, he did just that and more on Monday. Ricky Nolasco was fairly impressive, getting career win number 100 in the books, his 5th win of the season for the Twins, 5th in a row, I believe, since returning from the disabled list. And yeah, he pitched 7 2/3 effective innings, 5 strikeouts, no walks. He had a couple hiccups in the 2nd and 3rd innings, but after an RBI single to Hanley Ramirez, he basically shut it down. Retired 15 in a row before David Ortiz came to the plate. It was, who doubled that knocked him out of the game? Mookie Betts doubled in the 8th inning that ended up knocking Nolasco from the game, but that was with 2 outs. 7 2/3 innings, the deepest Ricky Nolasco has pitched into a game this season. Thought number 3, Nolasco's also had his teammates to thank. He's gotten plenty of run support this season, beginning from his, he lost the, I think it was an 11-0 game to the Tigers, if I'm not mistaken, in his first start of the season. He didn't pitch that whole game, obviously. Then he hit the disabled list afterward, and it was looking like another bad start to the season for Nolasco. But since he's come back from the disabled list, I mentioned the 5 wins. He hasn't pitched particularly well in each of those wins, but he pitched well on Monday. The run support, though, has been there. Since he's come back from the disabled list, here are his run support numbers, including Monday. On May 2nd, it was 5 runs. Then he got 6 runs. 6 runs again. 8 runs his last time out, and 7 runs on Monday. As a starting pitcher, you gotta love that because it means you can come and attack the strike zone. You can afford to be aggressive to hitters, knowing that, say, a solo home run or a 2-run home run is not really going to change the outcome of the game. And you don't want to get nitpicky and try and pitch to the corners and stuff quite as often. A lot of times pitchers are going to go right after hitters, and we haven't always seen Nolasco do that. He did that on Monday. He was aggressive. I mentioned the 5 strikeouts, no walks. I think more importantly, the fact that he recorded 23 outs. That's going to be big to monitor going forward. Will Ricky Nolasco be able to pitch deep into ball games this season? We certainly have not seen that in his Twins career so far. Monday, maybe a step in the right direction. We'll have to continue to monitor to find that one out. Thought number 4, I won't spend too much time on it because I've praised him in the previous 2 5 thoughts videos here, but Aaron Hicks continues to make highlight reel catches in the outfield. He made another one on Monday, that after making a diving catch in the right center field gap at the track on Saturday, and maybe his most impressive catch of the weekend on Friday. He was shaded a couple of steps to the right of second base, got a shallow fly ball in Friday's game against the White Sox, took a run away from Chicago Really an impressive play that you don't see a lot of center fielders making, and Aaron Hicks continues to make those catches. Eddie Rosario also making a nice catch in left field on Monday. Twins outfield defense continues to be improved, and I think it continues to be an underlooked story for one of the reasons that the pitching staff has been better, not only in the starting rotation, but also the bullpen. In the past, week, 2 weeks maybe, we've really seen this kind of pick up from the Twins, and I'll be curious to monitor it going forward, how the Twins choose to go with their outfield alignment. Even though Hicks isn't hitting great, he's definitely adding something with the glove right now, and I'm curious to see with the way the Twins' offense is clicking, maybe they just keep trading defense for offense in the outfield. It's working right now. Thought number 5, fifth and final thought. Eduardo Nunez seems like a bit of a strange candidate to be a designated hitter, but it's working. Right now, the Twins' offense is clicking. As I mentioned, it's one of the top 5 in baseball, or hovering right around that area at the time of this video. Scored 7 runs on Monday. I know they got to face Joe Kelly in Boston, but still, they're pushing to be one of the better offenses in the American League, certainly. Not quite to the Toronto Blue Jays level, but they're one of those teams that's in the conversation as among the best offenses in baseball, and really have been since the beginning of August in 2014 when Kenneth Vargas was promoted the first time. That kind of coincided with the click. I don't know if that's coincidence or what. But in any case, they're not necessarily needing a ton of production from the designated hitter spot right now, so I feel it's kind of hard to criticize them. It's hard to criticize them for choosing Eduardo Nunez, who owns a career .308 on-base percentage, paltry numbers for a designated hitter. But this season, Nunez has been great with the bat. He had an oblique injury, but since he's been back, I mean, the dude's hitting pretty well. In fact, I looked up his entering Monday. I've got his numbers for you here. He's .370 with a .414 on-base percentage and a .630 slugging percentage. I mean, that's all-star stuff. It's in limited plate appearances, and I'm not saying Eduardo Nunez is a candidate for the All-Star game, but he's been a legitimately valuable bat for the Twins so far this season. Whether or not that'll continue, I don't know. Again, I mentioned it's kind of a strange guy to have as your designated hitter, but it's working out for the Twins right now, and again, I struggle to criticize them for how well their offense is going. Pretty hard for me to nitpick and say, yeah, but they're making weird choices at designated hitter. It seems weird for me to do that. Something to monitor, though. Keep an eye on that, what they do with the designated hitter. They got a couple of bats in Rochester that I think would look mighty nice on this roster right now. With an 8-man pitching staff, 8-man bullpen, you wonder how long do they stick with the extra arm out there versus trying to get a 4th bench player and or a designated hitter for the starting lineup. We'll see. Have something to monitor this week as the Twins try to continue this impressive roll that has them now at 26-18 on the season. Impressive baseball through a quarter of the season for the Twins, to be sure. That'll do it for this video. Off to record another Touch 'Em All podcast. Check that out on iTunes. Go to iTunes, search for podcasts. Touch 'Em All. Phil Mackey, yours truly, Derek Wetmore, record once a week episode. 30, 40, 50 minutes, whatever it ends up being that day. Just in-depth Twins conversation. I'd recommend you check it out. That'll do it for me today from Target Field. Thanks for watching this video. I'll catch you next time.